And we're going to begin our discussion today with an overview and description of urban agriculture and the opportunities it presents for youth considering this industry. So first up is to Paul. So Paul, you run a business called Urban Farm Solutions. Could you tell us a little bit more about what urban agriculture and urban farming is, and how does it differ from traditional concepts of agriculture and farming, and why is it so important?
Wow, there's a question. I guess as the name suggests, urban agriculture is really growing in an urban center, you know, in juxtaposed, I guess, against what would traditionally be thought of as an agriculture in a rural setting. So it's really about growing in our city centers and finding sources of food that aren't brought into us from a rural area. So at the very basic level. I think one of the things that we're doing with urban agriculture that's important is really trying to find ways to take things like underutilized green spaces or alternative growing methods like vertical growing, hydroponic growing in containers, utilizing not just underutilized green spaces, but utilizing spaces in general that are not traditionally thought of as growing spaces in an urban area. So that's kind of the answer to that question.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul. Can you please discuss how urban agriculture creates resiliency in our food systems and how it helps to address food insecurity?
Yeah, so I think that's a really interesting question. So when we're looking at food systems, a lot of the food that we eat on a daily basis is coming from our grocery stores, and a lot of that food is coming from really far away places. And when we start to engage with local farms, a lot of that is our large scale Ontario farms. So people who are growing in the Holland Marsh and some of the really big farmers who are doing really good and really important work. But urban agriculture has a unique ability to be in smaller, more localized places and provide food directly to the people in a community on a more one-to-one basis. And by increasing the amount of small farms, we add to the resilience of the overall system. So it's not that urban agriculture is ever going to replace traditional agriculture, but it's going to enhance and create a system that's more capable of handling the various crises that we're going to be going into in the future. So like with the pandemic that we recently experienced, urban agriculture has the capacity to still produce food for people in that system and provide resiliency and give more opportunities for people to engage personally that maybe they wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to.
So the next question is to Matt. Matt, the recent pandemic has highlighted the importance of and the gaps in food security that exist in our communities. So hoping you could speak a little bit about the value of urban agriculture in supporting accessible food for everyone. How is your business, supported through the RBC Urban Agriculture Program, seeking to address this?
So I think when people are able to plant their own food, it gives them the security that even if they miss a few days at work because they're sick, they'll still be able to feed their family something nutritious and not just Chef Boyardee and ramen noodles all the time. And I think my business helps people take that first step. Like I had said before, a lot of people they want to get started, they just don't know how, and they don't want to take that risk because they're sinking a lot of money into something that they're afraid might not work out. So my business helps people get started in a way that's really engaging for people of all ages. It's accessible, and it'll help them reduce the risk of getting plants in the ground.
Beautiful. Thank you, Matt. And our next question is back to Cassandra. So Cassandra, what are some ways that youth can get involved in agriculture and horticulture, whether rural or urban, now to see if this is something potentially of interest for them down the road?
To get involved, there's definitely different ways you can go about this. There's some great associations out there. So 4-H Ontario is a great one to get involved with if you want to get involved in agriculture at all. Even just getting hands-on, getting out there, getting involved, going out to your local gardens, volunteering, going to your garden center, asking questions is all a great place to start.